Hi, my name is Alexa Almela. To start off, I want to define two terms, one being communism. Communism is when the government has full control and plans the economic of their country. Communist countries are such as Russia, China, and North Korea. Their citizens don't have a lot of privilege. They only have certain amount of food, certain amount of clothes, and certain amount of income. The second term is fascism. Fascism is individuals' rights are enjoyed by members and their loyalty is highly demanded to their supreme leader. Fascism is not the same as communism. Their citizens are more liberal, except that their business is controlled by government as well as their media. I choose the topic Spain communism. As a descendant of a Spanish heritage, I was very curious enough to find out why my great-grandfather decided to immigrate to Mexico. With little information, I was able to find out that he was a communist who was running away from the dictatorship of Franco. As Americans, we are afraid or just don't like to hear the word communism. Why? Because we enjoy our privilege of self-rule systems and the privilege of owning more than one home, of having our First Amendment, or buying more clothes, or never running out of money, right? In some cases, right? Communism was intentionally created to eliminate social class levels in society. This meant that we would be equal. So how did the Communist Party of Spain started? The Communist Party of Spain was founded by objectors of the Spanish Socialist Workers' Party and the Communist Worker Party. They surfaced around 1921, having their first meeting by 1922. Their leader was Miguel Primo de Rivera. Along with his followers, they plan on taking over Spain. By the 1930s, they were gaining strength, having 17 legislative seats. Their plan was going well up until 1936, when the second party, the Fascist Party, ruled by Francisco Franco, wanted to rebel against Miguel Primo de Rivera dictatorship. The nationalists, aka the Fascist Party, disagree on many of communism beliefs. This would be a conflict to the communists and the Civil War began. The Civil War that lasted 3 years had created many loss to citizens of Spain. Many were suffering. People were losing their homes, they were losing their family members, they were seeing how their family members would hide so they wouldn't fight. And if they were caught, they would go to jail. And during this time, food was being a problem. There was not enough food for everybody. Many were fighting between each other to have food. Neighbors would fight to have at least one bag of rice because there was a shortage. But according to the communist crime, I was able to find out that communists were extremely horrible. They would torture or kill anybody that was against their beliefs. So the nationalists were a big problem, right? As the Civil War was continuing, communism started to see how they were not winning. In fact, they were losing soldiers, they were losing territory, and as they were losing, the nationalists were gaining other territory, and they had a little bit more soldiers alive. By 1939, the nationalist, aka the fascist party, ended up winning the war. This meant that the Communist Party had to go underground, and many of the leaders or followers had to flee the country to avoid any jail time or avoid getting killed. The dictatorship of Franco lasted up until 1977, until his death. To conclude, I like to say that I like the idea of communism, except that there's negative benefits, like losing my privilege, something that I really enjoy, something that all Americans like to have, such as voting. This event actually reminds me to the unfortunately events that Ukraine is having. They are fighting over territory against Russia, a powerful country. And again, Russia is a communist, so it's kind of the same story, except that in this case, Spain was fighting against each other. So I would like to thank you for listening. Thank you.